All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I have a super cool tutorial for you today in Reason. All right, we're gonna be having a look at one of the coolest little player functions, and I'm not gonna spoil it just yet. Let's just dive right in. So first, we're gonna go ahead and grab ourselves a Kong Drum Designer. All right. Now, if you're familiar with this device, you got a set of pads here, and you can play those, listen to each sound individually. I'm just gonna let you guys listen for a sec. Those sounds are nice. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves something a little more unique. Oh, I'm already here. Okay. How about this? Caribbean kits. Let's go ahead and pull this Funk One kit right here. Have a listen. I like that. That sounds good. Okay. Now that we've got that set up, let's go ahead and actually grab the player that I've been talking about. So, if you go and have a look over here, you got a variety of players to choose from, but there's only one we're going to be focusing on today, and that's the beat map. All right, so you can drag that in. That's totally valid. However, I'm just going to double click it with Kong highlighted, very important, because it's going to make those connections automatically for me. Now, if we switch to the back, you can see there's actually no physical connections yet, keyword. All right, now that we've got this and it's hooked up to Kong, let's just go ahead and hit that run button and see what happens and have a listen for yourself. Now I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down, and you can see that this player has actually automated some patterns for the Kong Drum Designer, and it's actually playing these by itself. So let's go ahead and pause that for now. Now let's actually have a look at this device really quick. We hit run. We had to listen. And you may be putting the pieces together in your head already, but let me just give you guys kind of an idea of what's going on here. So you can see that this looks like a longitude latitude map. Excuse my phone going off there in the middle of the video. And you know, it looks very geographical. You've got XY positions. You know, you've got this kind of topographical look to everything, and you can actually kind of drag your vectors around and adjust this. Now, we don't know what that does exactly yet, but let's have a listen now that I've moved this to another position. Now, that sounds a little bit different than what we heard before, so let's keep moving this while it's running. All right. Guys, that's pretty cool. All right, that's pretty neat, and I'm gonna show you why. Okay, now, some of you may be thinking, hey, this is cheating. You got to put your own Kong drum design patterns together. Well, I'm gonna tell you why it's not cheating. Okay, because there's a lot to control here to get your own unique sound and kind of cultivate something you want to work with here. Even just as a stepping off point for a beat you're looking at. All right, let's go ahead and hit this map select button, and you can see that we actually have 5 other maps to choose from. You've got this lava map over here. You've got this kind of rectangular, you got some jagged maps here as well. We're going to go ahead and just stick to the temperate map here for now, mixed beats. It'll kind of give you an idea of the type of pattern that you're going to get by using different maps, right? So let's just stay on temperate for now. Feel free to explore that for yourself and get an idea of what those other maps have to offer. Now let's hit run again. All right. So that's a pretty cool pattern, but let's say you want to mess with the individual pattern. Let's say you want to make some changes of your own. Maybe you just like that kick pattern, right? Maybe you really like that kick pattern. But you hate the snare pattern. You hate the snare pattern. Well, you know what? If you like that kick pattern so much, why don't you go ahead and lock the position on the map? Now you can see we've got a little GPS marker here, which will give you the freedom to move your vectors somewhere else while maintaining the kick pattern you had before. Pretty cool, right? So you can do that with all of these individually, of course, but let's have a look at these knobs we've got to work with here as well. So while we're running the pattern, you can see we're getting quite a bit of percussion here, maybe more so than the other patterns. But if we turn down this density knob, that percussive element is going to activate a lot less frequently, and that also works in the reverse. And what's interesting is you will actually see the part of the map that's represented by this percussion become more and less saturated while you're messing with this density knob. And I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I didn't notice that until literally just this moment. That's actually really fascinating. I'm learning here as well, so I hope we're in this together is what I'm basically saying. So now that we've got that, we've got one GPS position locked down. Maybe you mess with the density knob on a few of these, get a sound you like. We'll go ahead and keep that for now, and you can see that's activating. Now, if you want to replace it with a different kick, you can, of course, go to your Kong, find a different sound, or maybe you just want to adjust the sound you have. You can go ahead and open this drum and FX panel, or mess with these parameters here, which, fun fact, you can also hit this. We'll go ahead and zero out this knob real quick. Do that with control click that sets it to the bass parameter, and you can actually there's a few different ways you can do this. If you click these little magnifying glasses here, you'll be able to mess with individual parameters for this sound, pitch, decay, blah blah blah, and you can see as I drag this around, those knobs are moving on their own. We'll go ahead and zero that back out real quick. Now, we've gotten kind of an idea of what's going on here. There's some more things you can mess with. This mirror function, if you turn this up, just like a density knob. Every 2 activations for your kick, your snare, your hat, one mirror will play. Now, as you can see, I have this turned up. That goes 1, 2, and we get one of these for every one. You can turn up the density on that as well. Excuse me, the velocity. This is a velocity control knob for the mirror. This is another way to control the sound you get, but it's measured in notes, so it can get a little more complicated. And then as you can see, it won't activate the same Kong drum pattern necessarily, or the same Kong drum patch. That's all right. Go ahead and zero that out. So let's have a look at some other things to offer here. Actually, I think we may have covered all the basics, but there's just so much more offered by the beat map. Now, if we switch to the backside here, go ahead and hit your tab key, you can see that you can actually control the density of each one of these individual parameters with control voltage. So the first device I can think of that has some control voltage to work with. Let's go ahead and hit tab again, see the front end of this, highlight our beat map in this case actually, and then we're going to go ahead and move over here to utilities, okay? And from utilities, we're going to go ahead and open our Matrix Pattern Sequencer. Double tap that. Okay, we're going to drag that. Actually, I lied to you. Put that right down there. Actually, yeah, I don't know why I tried to. Actually, no, you can't select. That would actually defeat the purpose of what I was going to try and show you guys, because I do want to do some manual routing here. But once you get yourself a Matrix Pattern Sequencer, let's go ahead and hit tab again, switch to the backside. Now you can see by default, this Matrix Pattern Sequencer went ahead and hooked up Note CV and Gate CV to my Kong Drum Designer. We don't want that though. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove these connections, and we don't need to worry about any connections back here in the Kong for now. We have this curve CV parameter here though, and you know this right here. Let's go ahead and drag this up. And you see you can actually link this to the density of one of these parameters. So just for the sake of experiment, we're going to go ahead and throw on the hat here. And I actually, for my own personal taste, I want to go ahead and grab that that Caribbean funk kit again. I did like the way that sounded. So let's go ahead and close this module. I'm not going to be working with that for right now. And you see you've got this Matrix Pattern Sequencer right here, the front end. Now, by default, it is on key mode. You're going to want to go ahead and switch that to Curve CV. And now, you can go ahead and draw yourself in some patterns. Now, by default, you've only got 4 here, and that's okay. So we won't worry about these ones back here. But now that we have that linked up manually, and we're on Curve CV mode, well, let's zero this out first. No pattern. What space? And we have this linked up to the hat. So pay attention to the hat in this sound for now. That's pretty cool. But let's draw some patterns. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Now, we can actually... Oh, okay. Now we're cooking with peanut oil, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 4 measures here. It's going to be routing this signal, which our curve CV, of course, it's going to be sending curve data straight to this beat map here, which controls the density of the hat. Now, you can, if you don't like how much it's affecting it, you can, of course, use this density knob right here to control how much curve CV data is going to be sent to this and used for this function. I like to keep that on high, and I kind of like to mess with the pattern instead of using that density knob, but you can do it however you'd like. Let's do some peaks and mountains here and see what that sounds like. That's pretty interesting. Now, you won't have to worry about this density knob anymore. Actually, I lied. This density knob does still have an effect over the beat, but you can use this curve CV function within the matrix pattern sequencer to have much more of a controlled effect. And of course, you can use these patterns within your music to kind of automate the changing of this density pattern. So this does cover a lot of the functions I wanted you guys to have a look at here in Beatmap. Now, I'd love you guys to go experiment, and you know, if you find something really cool, you got to send it to me, okay? Because I did show you this, and I have the right to listen. But find yourself a cool kit. That's step 1. Find yourself some sounds that you like. Go ahead and, of course, highlight this and open up a beat map, and I'll link that up. And then find yourself a pattern you like. And, of course, you can lock the positions, as I said. You can add a mirror effect and go ahead and run that. Maybe you want to turn on the mirror on a few of these, and you'll see that that's interesting. That one's not lighting up. I'm not quite sure why. You get some different pads activating when you turn on these mirror effects. You can minimize all these for now. Go ahead and pause that again. So that's another step. And of course, if you want to get a little bit more complicated with control voltage like I was using, grab yourself a matrix pattern sequencer or another device that will reproduce curve CV data to send over to your beat map. And that will give you even more control over the density, the thickness, the repetition of these drums. And with all that said, I think there's so many parameters to control here that it's not cheating. You know, it's not putting together your own beat patterns. It's not letting a computer do it for you. It's taking these algorithms and manipulating them to create a sound that represents you. You know, it does take a lot of creative energy, and it's all about listening. There's definitely an art to this. So if you learned anything, I believe I may have done my job, but have some fun and reason with these devices because they're really unique, and you can make some seriously cool music. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.